Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant of about Ballerina from the world of John Wick Ballerina, starring Ian McShane, Anna de Armas, with a special appearance by Keanu Reeves. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 15, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So they train her to be an assassin, blah, blah, blah. Revenge against her father, blah, blah, blah. Shoots a bunch of people, blah, blah, blah. The end. I mean, the action looks cool. The action looks really cool. And I like these kinds of movies. But they're getting very much the same over and over again. And with the baggage of John Wick, see, there he is, he's in it. It's getting harder and harder to make these exciting. I mean, the first John Wick movie is awesome. I love it. You know, and they did their best to expand it. And it's been fun. But I don't know how much more of this they could do. I mean, come on. You know, how many international assassins are there? Many, apparently. They're just everywhere. Walk down the street, you'll run into like 3 or 4 of them at least. And they're all being paid to kill this guy or that guy. And they all have hearts of gold, by the way. Yeah, they all are really good people deep down. They're not bad people. That's what every one of these movies turns into, right? Because you can't have a protagonist who's a total ruthless assassin. Amoral, doesn't care, just in it for the money. That's a boring character. Not a character people can get behind. Actually, it's not. I shouldn't say they're boring. It's hard for people to get behind a character that just murders people for money and doesn't care. But, you know, they're going to do this again. So, my main criticism is there's just too many of these movies now. The market is completely flooded with hitman and assassin movies. This one looks pretty high end. It's got a Elton John song in it to give you a little nostalgia bait. But and I love Anna de Armas. She looks great. Her moves are pretty solid. They don't appear to be doing the thing where she, well, I guess she does. She beats up a lot of bigger guys. But at least she's like stabbing them or shooting them or something. So yeah. I'm just kind of tired of this formula, I guess. Even though I like it, even though I like the action, I'm just tired of it because there's nothing new about it. It's like every person they train is an unstoppable killing machine who can perform violent miracles over and over again. And you say to yourself, well, if they have this sort of power, why did they use it for this? You know what I mean? It's like assassination, again, there's not really a lot of assassins out there. It's something that it's not a superpower. It's just not a superpower. So I guess it's the fantasy of being able to have that power and be able to, be almost indestructible and kill anyone you want and only bad people. She only kills bad people, I suspect. Doesn't matter how many explosions there are, how many houses topple, how many bullets go whizzing through the air. They never hit innocent people. They only hit bad people. But let's break it down. First act, Ian McShane recruits Anna de Armas because I think her father is brutally murdered and trains her to be an international assassin. He doesn't personally, but he grooms her by putting her in the assassin school. And they call her Ballerina because she is a ballerina or was a ballerina. And then she goes on to have an illustrious career as a beautiful international assassin. And then one day, she comes across the info about the man who killed her father, and then realizes perhaps she's been betrayed by her own organization, or that the assassin is another one of these John Wick assassins at the Continental, and she's not supposed to kill him, but she's going to kill him anyway because, something like that. And then there's many, many fight scenes until she kills him. The end. Which, may spark spin-off movies depending on how well this does. Yeah, I mean, for a spin-off movie, it's not a bad pitch. John Wick is insanely popular. I just think they've already made too many John Wick movies. See, here's the problem with studios. They will not stop making movies until there's no money left. That's the problem. See, as a creator, I will stop when I feel like the creation is not delivering what I want, right? So there are plenty of creators out there. You might say, oh man, I wish you'd do a sequel to this or this. And they never do for whatever reason. And you might say, oh man, that sucks. I would really like to see a sequel to that. You say that, but it might be that creator knows that the story is over. The example I always give, and this is sort of unfair to pick on it, but because I like him, Bill Tucci did a great comic called She, and it was a revenge comic. And the character gets her revenge, and then the comic kept going. It doesn't mean it was bad, but like the main story was over. It's kind of like if Batman had killed the guy who killed his parents. The story would be over, right? So it would be, you'd have to come up with, some other motivation for him. And there's no better motivation than that. And even if you could continue the stories would never hit as hard as that main story. So that's part of the problem with certain revenge dramas. That's partly the problem with The Crow, right? Like The Crow gets the revenge for his girlfriend in the comic anyway, sort of in the movie. And, then they kept doing sequels. But really, you shouldn't have done sequels. Like, it was a one-shot deal. Some stories are like that. So, ideally, what should have happened is John Wick, at best, probably should have been a trilogy. And then, if you were going to do a spin-off like this, it should probably only be one movie, right? It should be different from John Wick, yet this kind of looks the same. And this is part of the problem with studios. They're corporate owned, I think, and they tend to, again, make a can of peas. The corporate guys want to make a can of peas. The can of peas sells, keep making a can of peas. Now, they might do something different, put a different label on it, put a little more salt in it, whatever, but they're always making a can of peas. And they're going to keep making a can of peas till people go, I don't want peas anymore. So, in this case, the can of peas is a John Wick movie. What's in a John Wick movie? Well, there's scenes like this in a nightclub where Wick mows through a bunch of people and just kills them. That's what's going to happen here. Now, there's some different scenes in this. I guess slightly different from John. I mean, I haven't seen all the John Wick movies. There's a scene where she's killing guys with knives and a guy with a hand grenade, and she's fighting a guy with a flamethrower using a fire hose. So that's different. I mean, they're coming up with different things. I don't want to say it's exactly the same, but and again, I like these movies. I'm probably going to see this at some point, but I don't feel the need to see it. You know what I mean? Like, this is totally a streaming movie. Like, if I had money to burn, I might go to the movie and see this, but I don't feel really any need to, because, and I think sort of the fan base is probably there. It's like, well, yeah, that looks cool, but, I'm in no hurry. It'll hit streaming eventually, and I could just watch it there for next to nothing. Um, like, I'm not going to miss anything if I don't see this movie right away. Like, some movies you watch, and they've got, like, I'll give you an example. The Empire Strikes Back. Like, that was a movie that if you hadn't seen it, you were out of the loop. You were way out of the loop unless you heard the ending from somebody else. And then you were like, what? Oh, I gotta go see it now. This isn't that kind of movie. Like, people will probably come out saying, it was pretty good. But they're not gonna come out saying, oh my God, you gotta see this. Because there was some major revelation about John Wick or the Ballerina that blew me away. Probably not. Probably not. But who knows? Maybe they would surprise me. I kind of doubt it. It feels like a conveyor belt kind of situation. Like, oh, we're making a John Wick movie. Oh, make another John Wick movie. Oh, make another John Wick movie. Oh, make another John Wick movie. What can we make now? Well, let's make a spin-off John Wick movie. Oh yeah, another John Wick movie. So yeah, I would see it. Probably won't go to the movies though. Not because it's not worthy of going to the movies. It's probably pretty good on the big screen. It's just, they've made so many. And it's like, I want to see Ana de Armas. She's hot. She's good in the role, I'm sure. She's pretty good in anything. But it's like, give me something different. Give me something different. Give me a different tone. Even. Like a completely different tone. This feels like the exact same tone. Like if you did a deep fake, right? And you put Keanu Reeves and replaced Ana de Armas, it'd be fine, right? You and called it John Wick 5, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is John Wick 5. I mean, it'd be funny, Keanu Reeves running around in a dress, but it would just be John Wick. And again, nothing wrong with that. It's a can of peas, if you like a can of peas. But if you're sick of can of peas, you're probably going to wait for streaming. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on all our various links, the green site, the orange site, and the black site. It's where the other videos live. I will be at Marcus Hook today, Marcus Hook, PA, at the Mary W. Campbell Library, right there in Marcus Hook at 5 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.